Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Do you remember? Well, let's see if you do, because Tesla has always got a lot of hate, not just from people, but also from many companies and industries, as Tesla was disrupting their business. But their tunes have changed. They were clearly wrong, so wrong they came crawling back on their knees to Tesla asking for help, and just straight up copied their work they said they would never do because they had no advantages. Well, I do remember. So let me show you and see if you remember all of this as well. And let's dive right in. Do you remember when automakers said no one wanted to buy EVs? It's not even that long ago. Toyota for many years tried to say no one wanted EVs, and EVs was not the only solution, and have been fighting against this transition to EVs. And why Greenpeace last year in September ranked Toyota at the bottom of a study of 10 automakers' decarbonation efforts, citing slow progress in its supply chain, and sales of zero-emission vehicles such as EVs was totaled less than 1% of its overall sales 1 year ago. And that has not really improved much either. In Q3, Toyota, including Lexus, sold a total of 16,899 plug-ins at 2.9% share of their sales. But BEVs was only 4,221 in all of Q3 at 0.5% share. So if we take away the plug-in hybrids that still have a polluting internal combustion engines and put them together with its pure ICE sales siblings, Toyota had 99.3% of its sales in Q3 of 2023 had a combustion engine. But what about their hydrogen car sales? They have been ranting about for decades now, saying that is a big part of the solution as well. Well, Toyota sold 882 in all of Q3, making it a 0.1 share of their cars sold. What a complete joke. Anyway, just last year in August, Toyota was out saying there was no demand for EVs. And here we are with the best-selling car in the world. It's no longer an affordable ICE car from Toyota. It is an electric car, the Model Y from Tesla. And we have just reached the tipping point of BEVs representing 13% of the entire car market in September globally. So now we are entering the steep part of the adoption curve. So guess there is a few persons that likes to buy an EV. Maybe Toyota just need to try to make a good EVs where the wheels don't fall off. Or do you remember how it had no advantages to make its own batteries? We even heard Bob Lutz trying to explain that a lithium battery was a lithium battery. It didn't matter where it came from. It was all the same. Tesla had no advantages whatsoever, even though Tesla has some of the most efficient and cost-effective powertrains out there. And Ford was even out saying that it makes no sense to make its own batteries, and that was not too long ago. Only 3 years ago, Ford was out saying the supply chain has ramped up since Elon built his Giga factories, and so there's plenty there that don't want to migrate our capital into owning our own factory. There's no advantage in the ownership in terms of cost and sourcing. And only 1 year later, we see these headlines. Ford to lead American shift to the electric vehicle with a new mega campus in Tennessee and twin battery plants in Kentucky. $11.4 billion investment to create 11,000 jobs and power the new lineup of advanced EVs. So in just 1 year after they said there was no advantages to what Tesla did, they started doing the same thing together with SKI and CATL. Copy it another page from Tesla's playbook. Or do you remember how no one wanted to help build out Tesla's charging network? Elon said pretty much from the beginning that he was open to give access to other companies to his charging network, but they of course have to help pay for building out this charging network. So Tesla wanting to share the charging network is nothing new, but because nobody wanted to help pay for it, Tesla had to do it all by themselves. So they did. And now everyone is scrambling to get access to Tesla's charging network, as everyone else has very unreliable chargers and very few fast chargers, and every station has very few stalls. So the experience of having an EV is worlds apart, depending on if you have access to Tesla's chargers or not. Both Ford and GM started to realize that Tesla had too big of an advantage with their charging network and had to come crawling on their knees and ask Tesla to give them access to its charging network, even though they didn't want to help build it out. And even here in Europe, Tesla has the biggest fast charging network with 150 plus kilowatts of charging speed. There is nothing like the Tesla charging network out there. And now all the other EVs in Europe comes to Tesla's charging stations and pay Tesla to charge at their station, turning Tesla's charging network into $1 billion opportunity. Or do you remember how automakers said gigacasting didn't give any advantages? Just 2 years ago, BMW CEO Oliver Zipse said, "There is no economic reason to have very large integrated parts in these vehicles." According to Zipse, integrating cast parts to a very large extent has sustainable remedies which we don't want. Being more specific, the BMW CEO said the company would be primarily concerned with the repairability cost. BMW think they would get too expensive. Well, Lars from Tesla has already explained to us that the cost of repair are actually lower and is easier and faster, because they do have the bumper and then the crash cans that actually takes the impact on the lower speeds. So here Tesla just needs to replace the bumper and the crash cans, and the Giga casting is not hurt. It is only at higher speeds the casting gets damaged and helps save the passenger from injury inside the car that they need to repair it. But this is usually when the car is totaled anyway, or the whole front of the car has to be replaced, and that is again much easier with a big casting piece than 170 small pieces that have to be put together. So not only have Tesla shown that the repair concerns people had did not hold true, but funny that it should come from someone like BMW, which has the highest maintenance cost of any premium vehicle on the market, and they are scared of high repair cost. And Tesla has the lowest. But not only that, Volkswagen has said they will start using Giga casting, but that was of course for their Trinity platform, so not sure if we will see anything from them anytime soon. But Volvo will be using Giga castings, and even Toyota, after they tore down the Tesla Model Y and called it a work of art, will now start using Giga castings as well, basically copying Tesla's production method of front and rear casting and a structural battery pack in the middle. Yes, another page from Tesla's playbook, copied by the biggest automaker in the world. Or do you remember how Audi said 10 years ago in 2013, Audi didn't agree with Tesla's approach to sell its cars without a dealer network? Audi's CEO at the time said he prefers the personal connection a dealer can offer, even getting involved in their local communities, and describes it as a leverageable advantage. And Ford and GM was also out saying that their dealership was an advantage. But now that is all changing. Now, Audi plans to introduce a new direct sales model in 2024. What do you know? This was confirmed by Audi's Germany's head of sales, Philip Nowak, in a conversation with a journalist this Tuesday. And Ford will also start a direct sales model in 2024. Volvo is only selling its electric vehicles in a direct sales model. So yet another page from Tesla's playbook, copy-pasted, even though Tesla has been fighting hard for so many years to even be allowed to do direct sales to customers in the US because dealers were protected by law in the US. Or Do you remember when Elon said they could build the biggest battery in the world in less than 100 days in South Australia, and the Prime Minister of Australia called it a big banana and thought it would never happen? But not only did it happen, but it was such a good business case for Neoen, the energy company that built the power plant with Tesla's big batteries, increased the size by 50% only a couple of years later. And today Tesla is building these huge battery plants all over the world because it is just a good business case, no matter if we take the environment into calculation, just on pure economics. And don't forget stabilizing the grid, the Tesla Megapack just makes too much sense not to use. And Tesla is ramping up their Megapack production faster than their car business at the moment. So yes, Tesla might be late on some projects, but usually they always get it done. As Elon says, Tesla is good at making the impossible late. But there is a big difference from being late to being completely wrong. So wrong you had to come crawling back and ask Tesla for help, or just straight up copy their work. And don't forget, all of this we just talked about, together with Tesla's insane growth from nothing to the most valuable car company on the planet, and from next to nothing production and didn't know how to build cars, to Toyota copying your production method, and Tesla suddenly becoming a big boy overtaking Audi in unit sales, was all done without a single dollar spent on advertising. And even though Tesla has made this huge impossible achievement, we still hear so many people talk like they know better than the whole Tesla team on how to do this. Tesla, you need to advertise. Then you don't need to do any price cuts anymore. But just remember, Tesla has the world's best-selling car without advertising, and is not even in the true mass market. Please, just take a moment, just 1 second, to let this one sink in. Without a mass market vehicle and no advertising, Tesla now has the best-selling car in the world. But someone like the legacy automakers spending billions of dollars on advertising every year, and you do see quite a lot of advertising on their EVs, and look how far behind Tesla they are. Lucid spent $100 million on advertising, and they are not really growing at all. In the first half, Lucid reported production of 4,487 cars and delivered 2,810. The company has not reported third quarter numbers yet, but Cox Automotive estimate Lucid's third quarter deliveries at 1,601 in a report last month. So if that is the case, they will be down in sale numbers in Q3 about 60%, and even deliver less vehicles in Q3 than they had in inventory just from last quarter. But they spend $100 million on advertising, so the car should be flying off the shelf, right? Yeah, we sometimes get lost in our own perception of our worldview and think we know better. But we have to remember, Tesla has, against all odds, become the most valuable car company on the planet. They probably know what they are doing, and probably better than all of us speculating about Tesla. And yes, just as we have gone through all the things that people and companies said about Tesla in the past that turned out to be wrong, we now have people saying Tesla will never solve full self-driving, they will never make a humanoid robot or solve general AI. But one thing these people should have learned from all we have just gone through is never bet against Tesla. Give them enough time, they will eventually make the impossible late. And as we have seen from all the legacy automakers in this video, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then they apparently copy you, and then you win. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.